All right, hello, welcome back to the stream. Good to see everyone again. So today there's just a bunch of miscellaneous things that I need to do to get the demo ready. So again, the demo is slated to be ready by the end of this month. So the new demo. There's currently a demo for Gunforged available, but it's very outdated. So I'm going to be publishing the new demo, which is going to be more representative of the final game. And then shortly after that, within a couple months, the full game, the full version of Gunforged will be released. So that's the plan. And yeah, all the tasks that I'm going to be doing are going to be in service of making sure that the demo is as polished and presentable as possible and as representative of the final game as possible. So yeah, we'll just be working through the to-do list. But before I get into it, I want to remind everyone that if you'd like to support my work, you can check out the links in the description below. I've got a couple of Udemy courses that teach you how to build a complete game in the Godot engine, one for C# and two for GDScript. So check those out if you're interested. Otherwise, liking and subscribing and watching my videos is a great way to support my work as well. So with that out of the way, let's get right into it. Admittedly, I'm a little bit slow today. I don't know what happened, but I got up super late, so this may end up being on the shorter end of my streams, but we will see. We will see. So one thing that I need to do is lock the level selection for the demo. And so what this means is that if I were to run the game right now, let's skip the loading here. If I were to run the game right now, I would be able to go into any level, which is not appropriate for the demo. We only want to let players into the dungeon. So once this builds, it's going to go full screen. Let me fix that. Okay. All right, we're back. So when I go to choose a level, I can get the dungeon here, but then I can go to the graveyard and I can select this. Now we don't want that to happen for the, we don't want to have that happen for the demo. So what I need to do is go to my level select screen and I'm going to check out what's going on in here. So we've got this level ingot here. Set level. So yeah, in here, I think what I want to do is probably do public void set locked. And I'm going to have to introduce the logic that's required for this. So let's try this. Title label dot text is equal to question mark. Description label dot text is equal to, what is my third description? I guess that's fine. Okay, we'll just do something very quick and easy like that. Actually, you know what I'll have to do? I'll probably have to do this. Is locked equals false. Bool is locked equals false. There we go. I'm probably gonna have to store an is locked variable there. And the reason is because play button needs to be disabled here. On in animation finished equals not is locked. There we go. Okay, so that should be good. So now if I go to my level ingot, wherever this is instantiated, what I'm going to have to do is in here. So var is locked equals options manager dot is demo question mark current level is not equal to level dot dungeon. We'll pass that in. And then otherwise I need to do false. So if we're in a demo build, we're going to check if the current level is not equal to level dungeon, then we're going to lock it. And that should hopefully work. So let's see. Hello, copy paster. Finally caught you live. Thanks a lot for the content. You're welcome. Thanks for being here. One small question. Have you ever shared all your small written components? No, because I think I've shared like game projects that make use of the composition, but the problem is that a lot of the times the components are specific to the game logic for the game that I'm building. So they're not super generic to the point where you can like use them in any game that you want. They still make certain assumptions about the nature of the game. And so I don't think it would be super helpful to publish them separately, but they do exist in a couple of my projects. Good morning, Fox Shadow. Welcome back to the stream. Good to see you. You're welcome, copy paster. You are welcome. All right, let's go see if this works. Oh, this is not going to work because I don't have the demo flag on. So let me go ahead and let's do, what is it? Customize run instances. I need to add a demo flag there. So now I'll be in the demo mode where I can test this pretty easily. So I go here, not available in demo, got my stats. There's my dungeon. If I go next, nice. That position is changing. That's interesting. I should probably address that. And this is also not disabled like it should be. I think I must have just gotten that logic wrong then. Disabled equals is locked, yep. I just got that logic wrong. Hello dudes, welcome to the stream, good to see you. Hello Zan Iron. What's on the agenda today? We're just doing a bunch of random stuff, getting the demo, or getting the build updated for the demo. Oh, I forgot to show you guys. I'll show you something in a little bit. Remind me that I have to show you something, but this is still working, so that's locked. So I'm going to change that play button text actually. Play button dot text is equal to is locked play. So that'll work. And then I need to change this, what is it called? This ingot right here actually needs to be separated from the VBox level container here, because its flow is being changed by the size of this level ingot, and I don't want that. So I think what I need to do actually is change this to a margin container so that everything kind of gets situated in the center there. And then we're going to make this a fill, make that a fill, and then theme overrides, set the, okay, yeah, perfect. And then this needs to have shrink begin set, perfect. And then this one, shrink center, perfect. And then the margin container now is nice because I can do a margin top of something like 32, margin bottom of 32. So now it's back and centered, but since the margin container is not a VBox container, it's no longer going to, the position of this here is no longer going to be affected by the position of this. Assuming I did everything correctly. Let's see if that works though. Hello, Vidar. I look up to you as an aspiring game dev. Well, thank you. I'm also an aspiring game dev, so happy to have you on the journey with me. The good news is my friend play tested this version of the game yesterday, and he said it was really fun. And the constructive feedback that he had was not really related to the core gameplay loop. It was like polish things and content and whatnot. So I take that as a good sign. But I'm just itching to get the demo into all of your hands to see what you all think of it as well. Yep, absolutely. Yep, by the end of November, you will be able to play the new demo of Gunforged, which is going to be basically everything you see here. So now if I do this, so now that can drop down without affecting the position of that. Oh, that text is not being changed. I think I should probably do this in here. Yeah, that should work. It's saying play until it gets down and then it's switching to locked. UI is kind of tricky. There's a lot of conditionality in UI sometimes. There we go, locked. And so now I can only click this one. Sweet. Okay, the one thing that I wanted to mention is that I actually updated the player art a little bit. I don't know how easy this is going to be to show, but let me commit what I have, then I'll show you how I changed the player a little bit. Conditional expression can be simplified. Oh, okay. That works. Okay, lock levels for demo. So that's done. Done. Yeah, so let me open up the player. Let's see, player. .asprite, here we go. So yeah, that's the player now. Oh, I updated his face quite a bit. I wonder how easy it's going to be for me to change. Right, yeah, here. Update player art. Where was the update player art? Here it is. Yeah, so I don't know. Can I like zoom in on this? There we go. Okay, sweet. Okay, so yeah. So I updated the player art. This was the previous version of the player. You could see that his eye was kind of wonky. This was supposed to be an ear over here, and his nose was like humongous, which I like as a stylistic choice, but what I did is I reworked him a little bit. I made his ear a little bit more prominent in terms of the color here. I changed the shape of his eye, got rid of the blue because that wasn't really communicating a whole lot. Just used a single black pixel for his eyes, and then made his nose still large but smaller, and then thinned out his beard a little bit. And I think that this actually captures his kind of like craziness a little bit better. I think that he looks a lot better here, especially if you zoom out a little bit. It looks more like a person for sure. So I didn't want to touch anything else because I do like his general design, but I had a couple of comments about how the player looked kind of weird, and I agree. So I fixed it up a little bit. Now I think it looks pretty decent. I think it looks good. He's got like the proper amount of crazy in his eye, especially when it's more the size of what it's going to look like in game. I think it looks a lot better. Your cow came out great, by the way. Thank you, thank you. Vidar, any tips or book recommendations for the artworks? So if you're referring to how to do pixel art, I actually published a video on this channel recently with 5 tips of how to get good at pixel art if you're not an artist or if you're just starting out. So I'd recommend starting there because I go into a lot of explanation of like how you should approach learning art. You start small with a lot of constraints, and then you gradually build up. And then I also give you a bunch of like extra tips to get you kickstarted in terms of how to choose colors and things like that. So I would recommend you start there because it's my video. But in the other resources I use, I don't really read books on these topics. I go to YouTube videos. So Pixel Pete is a great one on YouTube. Adam C. Eunice is also a great instructor on pixel art on YouTube. You can find a lot of great color theory videos on YouTube. So I would just go there and see. What's the old man lore? Is he out for vengeance? I don't know. I don't really have lore for him, I'm sorry to say. And I don't want to just speak and just put some lore out there off the top of my head. Gotta have some good meaning behind it. So originally what the game was supposed to be is like, he's a wizard from like not like a steampunk, but like a mechanical wizard where his magic is expressed through his firearms. And he would be sent into these monster dens to eradicate like hordes of monsters that were like threatening the land. That was the original design or the original idea behind the game. But for various reasons, that just went by the wayside and isn't really expressed in the game at all. So I don't think that lore is really applicable anymore, but the art is much better. At first I thought he was a parrot. Nice. Thank you, Breckheck. Yeah, thank you, Eric Grove. Art looks much, I think it looks better. We'll definitely watch that. Excellent. Okay, so let's move on to the next thing. So I've got a couple of things here. Music transition, I'm gonna do that off stream. I wanted to explore adding weighted picking to the gun parts. So right now all the gun parts get added to a loot table wherein all the parts are equal weights, which means they all have an equal chance of being chosen. I think I want to tweak that because there are some guns that are very powerful just by the nature of the base stats that they have, or some gun parts, I should say. And I don't really want to balance that by just bringing those numbers in line with everything else. I'd rather leave them more powerful, but just make them less common. And so I want to do that. And so I need to explore adding weighted picking to the gun parts. So that might be a candidate to work on in this stream. I want to make a tweak. I'll probably handle this actually, this phantom gun. I want to make sure the phantom gun doesn't attack the training dummy because it's really annoying. I got to make sure that your excess runes are sold when you win the game. And I'd want to do some changes to the end game reward chest. What's up, Suhid? Welcome, welcome. I should say welcome back. All right, let's do this phantom gun change here. So let me open up the phantom gun. So this is the phantom gun script, and I need to figure out, so on target acquisition, get closest entity to position. So it's looking for an enemy faction, and the training dummy is marked as an enemy. So one easy way to fix this is going to be actually perhaps really easy. So I only have 3 factions. I have player, ally, and enemy. There's nothing preventing me from adding another faction here. Give the dummy his own faction. Now, I don't know how this is going to affect everything else. Let me try something. Let me see where this faction enemy is. Enemy tracking definition. Yeah, so I think this is actually going to mess up some of the player being able to interact with the dummy. So for instance, this enemy tracking travel definition, this controls bullets and makes them heat seeking like homing bullets. That will cease to work if it will cease to work on the training dummy, which could be fine, but I wonder if there's a more narrow way I can handle this. Let's see. Phantom gun. Get closest entity to position. Does the training dummy have its own script? Yes. You know what I could do? Actually, there's a better way I can handle this, actually. So instead of doing any faction-related things or changing how the get closest entity to position works, I think what I can do is I can just connect to the wave changes. So if I'm in between waves, I'll just disable the target acquisition code for the Phantom gun, and that will solve the problem pretty easily, I think. But I need to look at this. Get wave manager connect, wave completed, and wave started here. Okay, private bool target acquisition disabled equals true. We're going to default that to true. Okay, let's add those two. On wave completed. On wave started. Target acquisition disabled equals false. We'll set target node to null in here for good measure. If target acquisition disabled, we'll just return. Cool. All right. So one of the problems is if I add this to the player in between waves, that's going to potentially leave it disabled until the next wave starts. Maybe what I'll do is I'll do public bool is wave running, get private set. And when I do enter state running, I'll do is wave running equals true. And then leave state running. What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? Check wave complete. Yeah. Cool. So I think what I'll do is in this leave state running, I'll just say is wave running equals false. Okay, so now I've got a flag there. So what I can do now, grab the wave manager, this target acquisition disabled now. I can set that in the ready method. Wave manager dot is wave running, so equals false. Yeah. All right, that should work. So let's see if that works to prevent the phantom gun from attacking the training dummy. Add passive, phantom gun. Oh, it didn't work. Oh, I guess there's no wave manager on the hub level, so that probably isn't going to work. Let's go ahead and go into the main dungeon then. I'll wait till the wave starts. Okay, there we go. Phantom gun. Okay, so he's shooting at targets appropriately. All right, and now he's no longer attacking the training dummy. So I'll just verify that he starts attacking things again. Might as well scramble a gun, why not? All right, and now he's back to shooting, so I'm gonna call that good. All right, that one's good. Okay, prevent phantom gun from attacking training dummy. So that was kind of like a roundabout way of addressing that issue, but that works. Okay, let's look at adding weighted picking to gun parts. I think that's going to be a good one to add. Nautical Survivors demo. It's actually a pretty interesting take on the Survivors genre. I'm going to have to check that out. I'm going to have to check that out for sure. How are you using custom resources as passive and other data? Yeah, so it's just like you said, data. So I have the passives in here, and this passive data, it basically just contains anything related to the configuration of the card. So whatever feature tags I want to associate with it, which are like basically all those kinds of status effects, how many stacks you can get of that passive, the title, the description, and that kind of thing. And I do the same for the guns too. So I've got some basic stats here for the gun, depending on whether it's a magazine or a receiver or a barrel. And then they're basically just data containers. But then the actual logic is shuffled through just like a unified class. So there's a gun part that can handle the stats that come from these resources. And there's also some, like obviously if I use like a banana barrel here. What? Banana barrel? So I have a scene for the banana barrel, which has the sprite in here, and this is all done based on name matching. So the name of this resource file, banana barrel here, is the ID of this particular gun part. So the ID is banana_barrel. And based on that ID, it knows where to find the corresponding scene in the file system. You'll notice that this is the same ID, except it's Pascal case instead of snake case. And so that's the way that I'm linking these two things together. It's basically using the file name as an ID and then using that to figure out where it needs to find all the different nodes for the gun part. So, I mean, that's just a very quick overview. It's a little bit more complex than that, but yeah, the resources are basically just data containers. And then the same thing is happening for the passives. So this blood golem passive also does like file system matching. So you'll notice that I have a blood golem passive here, which is a scene. So it's doing the same thing as the gun parts, basically. Yeah, they're basically functionally equivalent to JSON. The benefit of resources is that you can edit them through the Godot inspector. But if you're good with JSON, it's going to be functionally the same. The thing about Godot resources too is that you can pass them around in signals and such. So you can, because they're Godot objects, so you can send them as arguments in like a signal emission or whatever. All right, let's take a look at... So in the gun registry here, I've got these receiver IDs. And in the Arena Loot Manager, there's this method here called populate gun part loot table. This is the loot table that gets populated, obviously. So barrel, receiver, magazine. And then when I call pick gun part, pick gun barrel, pick gun receiver, it's pulling from those gun tables. Where am I calling pick gun barrel specifically? Oh, gun scrambler, I see, okay. So yeah, but you could see that this loot table implementation that I wrote, this 1 here is the weight for all the objects. So they all have a weight of 1, but I want to change that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a weight to the custom resource probably. So if I do gun part resource, do I want to add the weight in here? I think so. I think so. So I'm going to do this. Export, private, or no, public, int, loot weight, get private set equals 10. So we'll set it up to 10 by default. And then in this Arena Loot Manager, the only thing that we're getting is these IDs here. ID to gun part resource. So I actually probably want to do something different. ID to gun part resource. Public, let's do this. Public static int get part weight. Get part weight, let's do string ID. We're going to return ID to gun part resource ID dot loot weight. So just like that. Okay, and so now in the Arena Loot Manager here, what I can do is replace this with, well, yeah, get part weight. Or no, what is this called? Gun registry, get part weight, ID. Probably would be simpler to just return some variant of this ID to gun part resource. Or I could at least do like ID to weight or something. But it should be fine. So now everything should default to 10. Have you used the @tool syntax for creating live editable components? It looks awesome. Yeah, I have definitely used tool scripts like that before. I think I have a few of them in this project as well. They're very useful in a lot of circumstances. Okay, so I think that's gonna work. So I built, and now if I go to my guns, what I should see is that the loot weight is in there for each part. So what I want to do, what I'm interested in doing is I just want to test to make sure that this is working. I mean, it should be working, but so I want to do logger.debug added gun part ID with weight this. I just want to make sure that this is working. So let's go ahead and run. And that's just for the magazine. So let's see what we got going on. There we go. Added gun part, banana magazine with weight 10, weight 10, weight 10. So all of them have defaulted to weight 10. So that's confirmed to be working. So now that they've got their weights, I should be able to just reduce the weights as I need to. So in my resources here, there's a couple of items that are really strong. So like the bubble receiver has these massive bullets per second multiplier and everything. I'm going to turn that weight down to 5. Bubble magazine can stay. There's also a... Where's the worm? Yeah, the worm receiver. Bullets per second. So now I can make like really overpowered parts. And I have a little bit more control over them. Ammo capacity. Let's make the worm receiver a little bit less common as well. I'm just guessing with these numbers, by the way. The reason I chose 10 as the loot weight is like, okay, so if everything's 10, then, you know, if I can make it, I don't know if this math is correct, but I'm assuming it's sort of on par. If I want to make it 30% less common, I could knock it down to 7 instead of 10, right? Or if I want to make it 30% more common, I could knock it up to 13, right? So using an even number of 10 as the weight kind of gives me a good gauge as to how much more common I want to make it, or less common, relative to everything else. Shotgun barrel oil receiver. I think the sniper receiver. I might even experiment with bumping this damage up to 18 and then making this less common as well. Because now I can get away with making things like really powerful. I don't have to worry about everything being like relatively the same. Also, it should make unlocking all the gun parts a little bit more interesting, because instead of everything having an even chance to drop, you may have to go a couple of runs before you encounter the more rare parts. Moss magazine. What was the other one I wanted to change? Oh, there's something with a good ammo capacity. That's got 10 ammo capacity. Yeah, that's pretty good. I want to look at what all the magazine ammo capacities are. Looks like 10 was the highest. Bone magazine had the highest capacity. Bubble magazine is up there as well. Sniper magazine is 3. Worm magazine is 7. Banana magazine is 8. Might bump up this ammo capacity a little bit and bump down the weight. Banana magazine, bubble magazine, cow magazine. What about the barrels? Banana barrel, bullets per shot. I'm going to turn down the bullet speed on some of these things too. I think that's too high. Turn that down. Shotgun barrel, turn that one down as well. Sniper barrel is really fast. Bullets per shot 1. The worm barrel has 3 bullets per shot. Same as the shotgun. Crystal barrel has 4 bullets per shot, so I'm going to make this rarer as well. This will all just have to be a matter of playtesting to see precisely what works. Where's the range? Okay, here's range. I want to play with the range as well. Bubbles have good range. Actually, these aren't terrible in terms of range. I think I want to lower the range across the board a little bit though. So the bubble magazine, let's knock that down to 400. I'm also going to knock it down to 9. Let's make it slightly less common. Cow magazine, I'm going to turn down that range to 250. Crystal 120. Lightning magazine, 250 is fine. Sniper 300. Cool. Bone. Banana. Bubble. Yeah, I don't know what range I want to use actually. $250 does seem rather high. Let's do 225 for that one. Okay. So, let me just take a look at all the changes I've made here. So changed a bunch of numbers, tweaked them just slightly. But yeah, now I don't have to be afraid of making any particular parts very powerful, like I said, because I can just control them easier with a weight. So add loot weight to gun parts and tweak numbers. So we'll do maybe like a quick play test with these things. Godot doesn't cease to surprise me with the features they have packed into it. Yeah, I agree. I'm discovering new stuff about Godot all the time, and I've been using Godot for years at this point. Is Logger a util autoload? It's not. It's part of my Godot utilities, I think. It's very bare bones. Oh, did I leave that logger in? I didn't. Okay. Let me see if I can find it. So this is part of my Godot utilities, and it's just some basic helper things. So you can log errors with any number of parameters, and that would get printed as an error through GDprint. It also prints the stack trace when you add an error, which is nice. Info just has like a little info tag and then prints it to the output. And then debug only happens when there's a debug build. So, and then I get the way that ends up looking is like this. So this is like the log file, so I can see that these are all debug messages here. So yeah. So let's do some playtesting of those changes that I just made, and we'll see how it feels. I want to delete my save to simulate being a brand new user. Actually, Yeah, we'll play it as if we're on a demo here. Debug, customize. Yeah, so we got the demo feature flag. So we'll give that a try, and we'll see what's going on. So before I get into that, I'm gonna go take a quick break, quick 2-minute break. So in the meantime, while I'm on that break, if you want to check out the links in the description, those are all ways you can support my work. Best way to support me financially at the moment is to purchase one of my Udemy courses, and you'll also get the benefit of learning how to make a game in the Godot engine. The other big things you could do are wishlist Gunforged, subscribe, like my videos, all that kind of stuff. So give me a quick 2 minutes. I'll be right back, and we'll get into some playtesting. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about the delay. Yeah, let's get into some playtesting, but first, how does that demo feature tag thing work? Do you have gates throughout the code that look for this flag? Yeah, so in my options manager here, I've just got like a static member in here called isDemo. Oh, I don't need this anymore. Called isDemo, and that just returns this OS, which is a Godot singleton, has featured demo. So basically, when you export your game, project settings, no, project export, in here, I've got this called Gunforge demo, but in the features here, this custom features, comma separated, I put the demo in there. So that feature tag gets built into that version of the game and will be detected as true when I call this os.hasFeature. And then of course, when I do the full release of the game, I will omit this demo flag so that anywhere in the code base where this is checked will just return false, right? And then if you want to emulate if you want to emulate certain feature tags, you can just go to your debug customize run instances and you can change the feature tags list here. So I've got the demo inserted here. So now Godot is acting as if I'm playing on the demo version based on all the gates that I have in my code. So yeah. Are you interested in a closed beta before Steam beta? No, I'm just going to release the demo on Steam, collect a bunch of feedback, incorporate the feedback as necessary before the final launch. And so the demo is kind of going to be the open beta, really. But I'm not expecting anything major to change with the game. I'm mostly going to be looking for feedback around like balancing and pacing and UX and things like that. But I think the core of the game is going to be basically unchanged. Hello, Neozoid. Welcome back to the stream. Good to see you. All right, let's do some playtesting with those new gun changes that I made. Oh yeah, and I also deleted my save data. Okay, not available in the demo. I've got 0 monies. I've got no stats, but I'm firing some bullets, so now it's tracking that. I do need to make this stats screen wider. Let me write that down before I forget. Okay, nothing here except for these ones that I've already unlocked. Cool. This is locked. Okay, let's see how this goes. Yeah, there's a lot of levers that I can pull for balancing. Like by reducing the range of a lot of the guns, I'm actually making the game slightly more difficult because if you can shoot enemies from like across the map, then that's obviously much easier than having to get closer to them. So it's kind of interesting the levers that I have now. Loot Goblin. Do I want to sacrifice health for a Loot Goblin? Let me go see what these upgrades are. Increased stamina, thunderstorm. Okay, I think I will take the Loot Goblin. Ouch. And then let's do increased stamina. That sounds good. War magazine. That's quite a good DPS upgrade. I lose a rune slot though, so maybe I'll put it on the other one. There we go. Okay. Any plans to add quick tutorials or small prompts for new players? Left click this, right click this at the bottom without stopping the action. There is a tutorial in the game that will show up the first time you load up the hub that teaches the basic controls. Are you thinking of some other kind of tutorial though, like some additional stuff? I also need to add key rebinding. That's going to be a big thing. I guess I'll take the tag you're it. That increases my movement speed over time. Is that good? My capacity goes down. I get an extra rune slot. I get a little bit more range. I don't think any of these are really that good. Number of bullets, though. Ooh, that one might be good. Yeah. Do I want to sacrifice another health? I don't. I want to keep my health. I didn't know about the tutorial. No, that's all right. I was just thinking some small prompts at the bottom as quick reminders. Oh, gotcha. Like, yeah. Yeah, that could be cool. A lot of games do that where they have like little quick hints near the screen and you can turn them off on the options. That's a good idea. Get down, Mr. President. Enhanced combustion. That should really be named. Just rename. Rename. It used to be the case that there was a default interaction between oil and fire, but I removed that. So the enhanced language doesn't make any sense anymore. Let's do a bodyguard. Ooh, cow receiver. That's what I'm talking about. Let's put it on that one, yeah. Again with the rune slots. Come on, I need some rune slots here. Oh my gosh. Okay. Increased health. Let's do that one. Okay, we got an oil rune there. Let's see. That's good for that gun. I get a rune slot, but my number of bullets goes down. Well, that's fine. I can put the oil there instead. Yeah. Oh, I could scramble. Do I want to scramble this gun? I think I'm going to scramble my right gun. Let's YOLO it. Okay, my DPS went down. But this makes more sense now. And I could even get more rune slots. So I got 4 rune slots on the right gun now. Well, that's not terrible. So my DPS went down, but I've got a lot more utility on the gun now, so we'll see. Nice. Increased health. Be the fuse. I want that one. Create an explosion when the magazine becomes empty. Be the fuse needs to say how much damage it does. Okay. So why playtesting is important, but I am going to take that one. Banana magazine. Why not? We got 2 banana guns now. Why is my range so high still? 352. So it's almost like 300 is a really large range. I might just have to reduce the ranges even more across the board. Oof. These bananas are not accurate at all. Blood Brothers. Do I have... I don't have any blood right now. I do want this one though. Oh, but what does this have? Quickness, that also has Blood Brothers. So maybe I'll take Blood Brothers here. This will be a good opportunity to see. Yeah, so the interesting thing is, so some passives you can only get once, like Blood Brothers, and so sometimes you'll have the Heart Sacrifice Shrine will offer one of the same passives as the upgrade table, and since they both offered Blood Brothers, when I chose one, it had to be removed from the options here, so now it's only showing 2. That was quite an edge case that I had to address. Do I want to sacrifice Heart for movement speed? I don't think so. I don't think so. Okay, we'll keep going. These bananas are not accurate at all, yeah. Yep. Phrases you do not hear in real life. Are there still some effects that are spawning up here? Oh no. Nice. Kind of makes sense given the aerodynamics, yeah. Yeah, I'd imagine if you would shoot bananas, they would not be super accurate. For real, grease ball, I guess I'll choose grease ball. That's a good damage increase. I'm getting a lot of oil. I just need fire. Need to add a fire gun, probably. Bullet pierce, nice. Jeepers. All right. That was kind of a tough one. Imaginary friend. Oh, but movement speed. Oh, what do I want? I'm going to take the imaginary friend. I have to. That is a good DPS increase. I've got lightning now as well. Bullet split. Ooh, that's a good one. That's also a big damage increase. I'm actually going to put that on the right gun, though. Or the right gun. And put the bullet split over there. This is a DPS increase here. Okay. Bullet pierce is a good one as well. I'm going to take bullet pierce and put it on that. So now I got piercing bananas. What happens if I want to check the interaction between pierce and split. Is that creating... oh. So there's 3 bananas, so it splits into 2 more bananas when it hits, but because pierce is working too, it continues traveling through. So I'm basically just shooting, and then I think those bananas inherit the pierce as well. I think that's how it works. Let's see. Yeah, I think yeah, oh my gosh. They keep inheriting the pierce from each other. That's an OP combination. That's dope. I do think that the damage keeps getting divided though. So like you have 100% bullet damage per single bullet you shoot, but if it splits, it divides the damage between both of them. And so eventually it's just going to get down to be... that was the way I chose to balance it. Instead of each bullet being full damage, it splits the full damage among the bullets. Still very powerful. Its shape causes it to wiggle through the area. Kind of a nitpick for your upgrade shot. Not sure the context of your game, but isn't it more important to see the verbal description of the effects without scrolling rather than the stats? I don't think so, because you're mostly not going to be receiving the affix. You're mostly not going to be working with affixes. Most of it is just finding higher DPS items. I think that's like prime, because a lot of the effects scale with DPS. So that's almost the first thing that you're looking for. Runes are a close second, but they are, I think, mostly secondary to that. I'll go for the increased health. So I have a bunch of runes here. I'll put fire. Do I have enhanced combustion? Oh, I never took enhanced combustion, huh? Okay, well, that's fine. Lightning. Yeah, I'll keep this. Get another bullet split. Ooh, maybe I'll do that again. That's a huge DPS increase, but I lose. Well, that's fine. Let's do that. Yeah. I love that the cow receiver art is just a decapitated cow, yeah. Little command prompts you have when choosing runes and such is what I was thinking for a brief input text box at the bottom of a new game's first wave. I'll leave this behind now. Oh. Oh, I see. Gotcha, gotcha. That's also a DPS increase. Nice. Okay, let's see how this works. I'm going to redo, I think, these ingots as well. I'm going to redo, yeah, how this is all displayed here, I think. Let me write that down. Rework style of assembled gun ingot display. I'm not entirely happy with that. Okay. Rat King. Okay. Got a reasonable amount of DPS here. Sometimes, I think this is a good sign. Sometimes it's really easy to kill the Rat King, and other times it's like this, where it's still manageable, but it definitely takes longer. Which is fine, because roguelites are supposed to have those runs where you just become OP. Ow. Ooh, I almost got trapped by those rat traps. That's why they're called rat traps, I suppose. There we go. Die, Rat King. Hee. What is this? Ooh, a shop. What do you got for me? How much does that cost? 19 gold. That's a huge DPS increase, though. Increased bullet damage. I don't have enough money for any of this. I mean, I can buy this, though. That's really powerful. Let's go ahead and equip that. This needs to be disabled. I don't have money. So write it down. Hello, Nepal V. It's going well. How are you doing? I don't have enough money to buy anything else, but maybe I can sell some stuff. Clear nearby bullets on dash. Might as well take that. Yeah, I can sell all of this stuff. Do I want to keep... Ooh, I have Blood Brothers, don't I? I do have Blood Brothers, so maybe I'll slap... Oh, but I want Enhanced Combustion. Does anything... Ooh, that's an increased rune slot right there. Put it there. Now I can put Bleed on there. Let me sell those for some money. Extract that rune, sell that rune. Capacity 9, range. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, now I can buy some more stuff. The question is, do I want to buy stuff? I could buy a heal. Do I want to do that? I don't think so. I actually don't think I want any of this stuff. Okay. Let's go. See if we can get some Blood Brothers going. Oh, I'm melting things now. Come on, Blood Brothers, where are you? There's one. Haha. There's another one. I love the Blood Brothers so much. Really like your game idea, thank you. Are there any hit scan type guns? There are not, no. Nope, all of them are projectiles. Robust, Blood Torrent. Robust is kind of... I'm going to take Robust, actually. That's a guaranteed heal. I'm not getting many health globes anyway, so I might as well take it. That's a huge capacity drop, so I'm not going to take that. Let's sell those, though. Do I want to sacrifice a heart? For either a bodyguard or for this one. Movement speed. I'll take another bodyguard. Sacrifice a health for a temporary health, basically. Oof. That was almost a bad situation. Nice. Gun scrambler. I don't want to scramble my guns. I would never do that. Ooh, berserk. Let's take this one. That is such a good DPS increase, but my capacity goes way down. So I don't want to do that because then I'll be shooting too much. Okay. Somebody's running a leaf blower, so apologies if you can hear that. My microphone actually seems to be cutting it out. That's good. Oops. Oh my gosh, I'm not doing well. Okay. Woo! All right, got my end of wave heal, so that's good. Get down, Mr. President, ×3 or quickness. Let's do that one. Cal receiver. That's a DPS decrease. I could reroll if I wanted to, but I'm actually feeling pretty good about my damage still, so I'm just going to go ahead and continue on. I'm actually really fast. This is great. Those spider centaurs need to go like quickly because they're very dangerous. Full health, let's go. Quick question, are there valid reasons to generate your own assets? Someone commented on one of my live streams saying I should never use third-party assets, but I think that's a bit misguided. Yeah, I think that's misguided too. I mean, you should use whatever tools are available to help you make your game. That's my opinion anyway. And as long as you have the rights to use whatever assets you're using, then use them. I think what maybe people are a little bit hesitant about is like you can kind of end up with a game that doesn't have a cohesive style if you're using a bunch of disparate assets. And so I think there are indie games that use third-party assets quite heavily, but then they take those assets and they like tweak them to fit the overall style of the game that they're making. So it's not like they're just taking the assets and implementing them directly and then being done. They're putting in a little bit of effort to get the assets in line with the theme of the game. But I think, you know, that's more of a question of style rather than like you should or shouldn't use third-party assets, right? Here we go, enhanced combustion. That's what I wanted. Now, does the order matter here? It does not. Sweet. And what does that do? Enhanced combustion. They never actually gave a justification. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's like... Everyone's got their opinions. But yeah, it's like, you know, the question, of course, is like, where do you draw the line, right? Do you, okay, you do all the art and you do all the 3D models, but do you do all of your own sound effects too? Like, do you do the raw recording of all the sound effects? Hunt throughout the countryside for the perfect sound effect? Or do you buy sound effects, right? Do you use a game engine or do you write the engine yourself? Like, where do you draw the line? Like, what constitutes using a third-party asset versus generating your own? Like, what does that even mean? Like, in order to make a game, you have to rely on work that other people have done. Even if you're writing your own engine, you're using a language that somebody else created. Yeah, for sure. Okay, enhanced combustion times 2. Yes, give me that. We're going to increase that damage. Magma is a really good one. Shoot. Let's do magma there. Yeah, I like magma on that one. Sell that. Cool. All right, keep going. It's getting really hairy now. How does the... Oh, wait. I want to see... Yeah, I think I'm gonna make the magma explosion bigger. Homing bullets. Wow, I'm getting so many runes. Yeah, anyone who claims writing your own game engine is the only way to be a legit game dev. It's a bad faith critique, yeah. I think, yeah, like I said, everyone's got their opinions. I think it's like from just a pragmatic standpoint, like if you're trying to build a game, like use the tools that you have the right to use to build it. Like whatever's going to save you time, use it, you know? And if it saves you time to write your own engine because you're doing something very specific, then do that, you know? It's like, we got to be pragmatic about these things. Let's take another enhanced combustion. That sounds good. Oh, I wanted to write down make magma explosion area larger. I want that to be a more impactful affix or a rune. All right, wave 17, here we go. Did I forget to look at the gun parts? Oh well. At least you can't advance the wave without choosing a passive. So that's good, at least. But you can advance the wave if you choose not to look at the gun parts, so. Yeehaw. Ooh. Yikes. Ooh. I'm actually doing okay. I've got all my bodyguards and everything. Is this going to be a victory? Let's see. Don't count my chickens before they hatch, but let's go. Your particle effects are really good. Thank you, Suhit. I appreciate that. Is this asset pack from Elv Games? I don't know what that is. Hello, Christopher. Happy Monday. Doing some playtesting. Yeah, the first half of the stream I did a bunch of changes. One of the changes I made is I added a loot table weight to the gun parts that can show up at this table. And so I'm just playtesting to make sure that that feels okay. And that nothing has obviously changed for the worse. So yeah, Playtesting, yeah. Playtesting can get old. You know, I've been working on Gunforge now for years at this point, and it's, you know, there's no surprise left in the game, right? Like, I've already done everything, but I'm still having fun with the playtesting, despite the fact that I know everything that can happen in the game, so I think that that's a good sign. But we'll see. I'm curious to see what fresh eyes have to say about it when I release the new demo. Ooh, that's big right there. Boom. Let's just go ahead and slap all those back on. Look at this. Let's see what we got here. Increased stamina. Let's do it. 3 health, 3 stamina. Let's go. And I got bubble bullets now, which are some of my favorite bullets. Look at this. Fill the screen with bullets. With bubbles, I mean. Sweet. Demo comes out at the end of November. Yes, indeed. Welcome to the stream, Andrew. It does come out. Oh, let's do increased health. We're just building tank mode now. I am noticing that the pool of passives is definitely shrinking by the end of toward the end of the game. Just because like all the unique passives get chosen, and then you start ending up with a lot of the same choices. So that's going to be alleviated though when I add a lot more passives. Like I've got a ton of passives that I want to add to the game. Totem. Ooh, totem. Totem. Where do I want to put this? I need to keep that oil for the oil combustion. So I need that. Bullets pierce through one additional enemy. I could probably get rid of a bullet pierce here and put the totem on there. This is useless. I'm making use of all my rune slots, so I'll get rid of that one. Okay, wave 19, here we go. We'll see how the lowrider spider goes. My friend playtested it last night. He got all the way to wave 20 to the lowrider spider, and he died at the boss. Can you believe that? Goodness, there's so much happening right now. Even though there's a lot happening, I feel like the game is still relatively readable. Like, I'm not having a hard time seeing the enemy attacks or anything. But let me know in the chat if you disagree, if the game is too busy still. But even though there's a lot happening, I think I have a relatively easy time of seeing where the enemies are, what the enemies are doing. Let's do another enhanced combustion. Here we go. 430 fire rate lower, capacity lower, but that's a huge DPS increase, so let's do that. Let's extract this rune. Let's sell those. All right, into the final wave. Let's go. Oof. I lost. Wait, I've lost. Oh, this is bad. Yeah, when he goes into that attack where he just shoots bullets, that's actually really hard to dodge. That's very dangerous. Lowrider spider, no, don't hurt me. Yikes, okay, yeah. And the way he moves like so erratically too. I love that. It adds a good deal of challenge. Eek. Nice. He's dead. Nice. Get my gold. Alright, let's return to the hub. I won! Give me my gold! 1,111 enemies killed. Woo! 148,000 damage. Only took 6 damage, but I healed 7 times. Bullets fired 6,300. Wow. Done. Alright, end of demo. You have beaten the demo. To unlock the full game, head over to the Steam page and purchase it. Does that link work? It does. Look at that. And I've got my 154 gold here. I could start unlocking things, but only if I purchase the full game. Womp womp. But your save progress will carry over from the demo. So any gold that you loot from just replaying the demo over and over and over again will be brought into the full game. So then you'll be able to spend it here. So for those of you that maybe aren't able to buy it right away, you can play the demo as much as you like, hoard a bunch of gold, and when you jump into the full game, you can just rip it through the upgrades. It's my second or third time joining the stream. Welcome, Nick C. What platforms will the demo be released? The desktop platform, so it'll be Linux, Windows, and probably Mac. I have to test it on Mac. I'm not going to promise it for Mac because there's a potential it won't work well. But that is what I'm trying. For sure, Linux and Windows, and we'll see about Mac. Should have no problem. After finishing Bubble Tank Frenzy, I'm planning to experiment with Godot. I think I'll grab your course to get started. Oh, please do. Thank you. That answered my question. Oh, did I answer? Oh, because I brought up the Steam page. Hello, Toadman. I missed the last of many of these. Hello, Anykey. Welcome back. So that felt really good. What I really need is a dedicated pixel artist. I've got an idea for a Bullet Heaven RPG inspired by a book series I love. Well, if you're interested in learning pixel art yourself, I created a video with pixel art tips for people with no art skills. So check that out on my channel. You might be surprised if you start with something like a 1-bit color palette. I don't know if that would work with the kind of game you have in mind, but if you can start with that, I think you'd be surprised at how quickly you can make decently looking assets with just the 1-bit color palette, and you'd be able to build that all yourself. Screen's a little bit busy at times. I find it a challenge to know where the bad guys are, especially in the shadows. Maybe a 1-pixel outline. Yeah, I can consider that. The enemies are outlined, so I could give them some kind of red. I do think that there will be a difference in terms of watching it versus playing it, though. So, yeah, I would definitely be interested to hear your feedback on that point if you try the demo, the updated demo, which I'm going to release at the end of November. But that was a very smooth playtest session. So there's a couple of things that I want to do. I'm going to make that magma explosion, add B diffuse damage, rename enhanced combustion to combustion. So I'm going to do those 3 things. But first, I just need a really quick break. So give me 1 minute and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I'm planning a playtest session for my game tonight. Was originally going to stream The Witcher 3. What is your game called, Nepal V? I'd be interested to see what's up with that. Why do I have so many? Oh, these are all warnings. I should probably address those. If only because it's annoying. Bubble Tank Frenzy. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember. Bubble Tank Frenzy. Magma. I might double the radius here. Why not? Okay, so that's done. Be the fuse needs to display how much damage it does. So explosion on magazine empty is what it's called. So I need to look at that. %. Damage per second is bullets per second times damage. Right, okay. Weapon DPS. Okay, so added that description in there. These are all very quick things, but I wanted to get them done before I forget. Call this one just combustion here. Okay. Rename oil fire passive. Cool. Okay, this get down, Mr. President, I'm now just realizing needs to be renamed somehow because it bleeds off the edge of the banner, which is unfortunate. Normally I'd let you know I have a build available, but I don't want to distract from what you're working on. You have a YouTube channel, right? Can I just, let me see. I'm just seeing if I can find your YouTube here. Because I do want to see what that's all about. There we go. Bubble Tank Frenzy. Okay, yeah, I got you. So I'm going to take a look at your channel after the stream. And an itch.io page. Gotcha, okay. Hello, Marcos. Welcome back to the stream. A random idea for a gun came to my mind. How about a photo gun? Shoot photos and take enemy pictures. That's interesting, yeah. Like a Polaroid camera. That would be cool. All right, I'm going to rename this to Secret Service. Which should be fine, because that name was too long, unfortunately. But we'll keep it as Get Down, Mr. President in terms of the ID. If I find a better way to shorten that, I will revisit it. But that has been needed to be addressed for a long time. Okay, anything else that's quick to do here? Make stat screen wider. Let's go ahead and do that. Come on. Stat screen, thank you. It wasn't grabbing my focus properly. Make that wider. Let's see how that looks in game. One of the games in UFO 50 has a Polaroid gun. It stuns enemies in the area where the photo was taken, and enemies take bonus damage. Nice. Unfortunately, I don't have any sort of framework to enable like a stun effect, which is kind of unfortunate. But what are you gonna do? My inspiration for this game comes from my love for Bubble Shooter Pro. Uh-oh, did my camera freeze? I think my camera froze, but you should be able to still see me, right? Hello? Oh, I can deactivate it. Okay, there we go. Not frozen anymore. Aiming to recreate that experience in the 3D roguelike format. Yeah, I'm going to check out your videos and, for sure. And your itch.io. This game is hard since it doesn't have checkpoints. You're talking about Gunforged? Okay. Looking at the stats. Cool. There's one really random thing that I want to do in the chain panel animator component. Update chains. So I want to change this offset here. matthewtil.rng.rand I range -32 to -128. Okay, so I'm going to offset the change so that way the textures are no longer perfectly aligned. I think that should work. Did that even work at all? Can't tell if that worked. It didn't work. So the reason so these like rust colored chains are all aligned equally for some reason. Maybe I did this wrong. Does it need to be 128 first? You know what? I'll just do positive. Okay, let's try that again. How long have you been making this game? Just about 4 years. It's been in development in some form for 4 years. It's not like I've been doing work on it full time for 4 years. But yeah, That's generally the period of time that it's been in development in one form or another. Now, why is this not working? Oh, I know why it's not working. Because that's it's never gonna work. That's never gonna work because of the way I've got this set up. So maybe this isn't such an easy one to do as I had thought. Let me see something. I'm not trying to promote myself. Oh, that's fine. I'm not going to ban you for mentioning your game. This is a place where we can share our games. I mean, as long as it's not excessive, obviously, but you're very far from excessively promoting. I once got banned from a streamer's channel for talking about my game, even though I was just sharing because I'm generally passionate about it. Yeah, that's not a problem at all. Here, anyway. Just curious, curious about something. Do you prefer C# over GDScript? I would have said yes back in the Godot 3 days, but with the way that GDScript has matured quite a bit in Godot 4, I actually find GDScript to be really fun to use, as long as you're doing like the static typing and everything. The introduction of Lambda functions, the increased support for static typing, that sort of thing has actually made it a lot of fun to use. So I would use GDScript for Game Jam games. I still do that. But if I'm making like a full game that I intend to sell, I think my choice of C# would largely be related to how complex I think the game is going to be. Hello, Tupa. Did you game design in general like having notes in paper about how the game will be like or how the mechanic will be? No, I've never been big on like documenting the game ahead of time, because I think it just... What I've found in my experience, and as I'm learning, is that oftentimes just having an idea of how the combat should go, not the combat, but just like the main hook of the game should go, which for a lot of games is the combat, like having a good idea of what that should look like is really all you need. But then the rest of it, at least because I'm still learning, is mostly just implement something, see if it's fun, let the game kind of direct you in terms of what is fun and what isn't. Instead of trying to plan out, oh, I'm going to have all these features ahead of time, I find it easier to take an incremental step. Like, okay, I've got the combat, it's really fun. So now what's, the next thing I can do to enhance the combat? Not maybe just the combat directly, but what are the supporting systems that I can introduce to make that fun? And you just kind of keep taking it incrementally. Like this game has changed completely from what it was like when I first started developing it. It was originally supposed to be like Enter the Gungeon, basically. But I found out that it's actually really hard to make fun procedural levels. And I was like, well, the combat is fun, but the problem with the procedural levels is that they're not interesting. They suck. And part of that is because I'm not good at doing the procedural generation yet. And so I said, well, what if I just transformed it into like an arena style game where it's just combat? There's no exploration or anything. Like, combat is fun, so I'll make the game just combat. And that was fun. It's like, okay, what can I add next? Like, let's introduce wave rewards and let's have, health globes drop, and like just keep incrementally adding things until the game takes shape. So it grows more organically. The problem with that though is it's way easier to get out of scope because you don't have like a defined, here's what V1 looks like. And so that can happen too. But anyway, that's just a long ramble about how I feel about it. If I remember correctly, I think you have raw strings for the text. Do you think localization is not worth the effort cost, or you just don't have time, etc. for it? So I will say it's not worth the cost unless you're localizing for English. So the fact of the matter is that most people will be able to speak some form of English, at least in the markets where you're going to sell the most of your game. And that sounds very like icky to say, but it's true. So being me on a limited budget, not speaking any other languages, I'd have to spend, a week plus making the game, make sure that it's supporting for localization. Then I got to go find people who know how to localize the game. That costs money and time, and I don't even know if it's correct. So with the situation that I'm in now, it's like, well, it's only English. That's it. So if you don't speak English, I'm sorry to say you won't be able to play the game probably. But just economically speaking, it's not worth the time and effort to do a bunch of localization. Now, I'd imagine it's a different story if you're a non-English speaking game dev. The biggest markets are going to be in English speaking countries, so you probably would want to localize your game for English specifically. Hope that helps. I wish I could say, yeah, I'll support all languages, but it's just not feasible. If Gunforge sells really well, now that's a different story. If it sells beyond my expectations and I do have the resources, then I'll be like, okay, yeah, maybe it'll be worth the effort now to localize it so I can unlock the non-English markets. I come from Unity, so C# is just way easier for me in Godot. Also, the reason a lot of people document is because it gives them motivation, helps them get a good direction of what to do next. Yeah, I mean, I think that if documenting your game works for you, then you should absolutely do that. I don't think there's like no hard and fast rules. It's like, it's a creative process, and I think the creative process is going to work differently for different people. If you find that you create better games when you think it out fully beforehand, then I think that's what you should do. Okay, so this is actually going to be a little bit of a problem. Well, I'm not going to be able to address this thing that I wanted to address, so I'll just ignore that for now. Okay, make stats screen wider. Okay. Sorry, 1 second. I've got to do something on my phone really quick, but... Anyway, I bet it's hard to design text boxes so they work with verbose languages. Yeah, that's a problem. Also, there are some localization things that are tricky, like how do you... Like if I have a gun that's called like... Well, I guess it's not a good example. Like if I've got stuff that's unique to the game, like a unique name to the game, like the name Gunforged, like how does that actually end up being localized, Because it's not, I mean, it's two English words kind of mashed together, but translating that or localizing that is not necessarily a straightforward thing to do, right? But even things like in your game, like if you have a creature that has a unique name that you made up, like what does that localization even look like? And then you've got like the right to left languages. So there's like a lot to it. It's very, very difficult. You're not going to localize it to Macedonian for the former Yugoslavia? No, unfortunately. The creators of Cult of the Lamb did something else with documenting and made one document per week. Oh, interesting. Gunforged Braille Edition, yeah. Just got your course. Thank you, Nepal V. Appreciate that. Documenting game design early doesn't work for me too. Yeah, I think it's probably, it's one of those things where it depends on the individual. what I'm gonna do after Gunforged is released is I'm going to make a documentary style video. It'll be like a half-hour long, showing the process of making Gunforged across the 4 years that I've been working on it. So I'm gonna like pull up the old code and the old versions of Godot and like run and play the game and get a feel for what's going on. And when I say documentary style, I mean like documentary style. I want to try doing that kind of thing. So it's not really going to be a devlog. It's going to be more like a making of documentary. I think that would be really cool. I'm not sure if making videos counts as documenting, but I can definitely do that. I think it kind of can. But anyway, so that'll be it for the stream today. I want to thank you all for joining me. It was a lot of fun. And once again, if Gunforged text is localized to my native language, it would be a lame name. I'm sure that many such cases, right? Losing on a big market, not localizing to, I don't even know how to pronounce that, but it's an actual language apparently, so yeah. Yeah, I think, you know, if you localize it to English, you're probably going to get the majority of the market unlocked. That's my opinion anyway. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe Gunforged will sell really badly because it's not localized. Anyway, thank you all for joining the stream. Very much appreciate that. Again, if you'd like to support my work, please check out the links in the description below. I've got a couple of Udemy courses for sale, but also liking, subscribing, wishlisting Gunforged is a great way to help me non-financially. So I would appreciate if you would all check out the links in the description below. And thank you all for being here. I really appreciate your support, and I will see you in the next one. So you take care as well, Nick and everyone else.